Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us again. And today we have with us, sorry, just a second. Okay, so Lakshmi is somehow not able to join it at all. Karishma, can you? Okay, I'll just add Lakshmi. And let me see. Add. Lakshmi, have you? Okay, so Lakshmi, now you can comment. I've just, okay, finally. Hi, Lakshmi. Welcome to Social Connections with Moderation. Sorry for all the trouble that
Hi, how are you?
I'm
I
good.
know there was some problem,
Yeah. Yeah.
but never late than it's better late than never. So glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. Rather, I want to thank you for being so kind enough to agree to do this session with us. And I've been an ardent fan of your work, and I've followed you. Like I was telling in the introduction, that even those people who follow fashion to the minuscule level, I think they would have seen you walking the ramp and slaying the ramp with those drop dead gorgeous looks.
Thank
So
you.
and before we begin, I really wanted to, tell everyone that you have been a legendary fashion diva. So how has been your journey from Lakshmi Rana to legendary Lakshmi Rana? Please elaborate.
Well, it was a long journey, first of all, and there were certain rules that I lived by. And at first, I have been lucky. I feel God's been kind. And secondly, I feel I have never really been in competition with anybody. I was pretty well um, satisfied and with the progress I was making. I was not in a hurry. So every job that I did it with ease, and I did it with a lot of soul put in. So I feel that that kind of reflects in certain ways when you are not trying too hard and when you are only working towards your specific job. I think that really makes a difference. Also, I've had a very balanced situation when it comes to my family as well. So I feel there is an inner peace and happiness which drives you, and and when it comes to ramp, when it comes to the work that I do, um, there are certain rules that one needs to live by, and I have been following those, and now I have started teaching people as to how to go about it, and what is a sustainable and a very consistent way of going up the curve. That is what is important and what one needs to learn.
Yeah. So in fact, we will come to that, and I know about your ventures that you have started. But before that, still there would have been challenges back then. What were they, and how did you overcome them? Like 20, almost 18 years, 19 years back in the industry. How was the industry then, and what were
Well,
the
sure. When I started off, it was right after Miss India. I don't know if you know, but I was in the top five in Miss India 2000, which was
yeah?
Lara Datta, Priyanka Chopra, Dia Mirza, me, and there's a girl from Gayatri we were the top five that year.
Okay, so the
And
iconic 2000 millennium year,
yes,
yeah.
that was a very tough batch. We had great girls. One contestant was better than the other. It was a very tough batch, and I had just about come in from Dehradun. I had just completed my 12th. I came in from Dehradun, and I had no, in the sense that I did not have that much of
Yeah,
um, administrative
I
comfort.
think you
Honestly,
were about to become. You tried to become a pilot. I think you had in your mind to become a pilot back then.
yes, yes. So I'll
Yeah.
tell you about that as well. And so during those days, the topmost girls were Madhu Sapre, Sheetal Malar. There was Meher Jessia who had already left by then. I remember doing Fashion Week 2001 with Madhu and people like Bipasha Basu. That was probably her last Fashion Week that she had done. and so did Madhu. I don't think she did any other fashion week after that. But it was a great batch. There was Carol and there was Joey, and it was a very strong pool of models, and there were so many girls that you could actually learn from. And at that point of time, I was very new. I did get a lot of compliments for my walk at that point of time as well. And so the world was very different back then. Now there are lots and lots and lots of girls who have come in who really want to make it big here. And they're wonderful girls again. But at that point of time, it was people were looking for a specific personality to walk that ramp. It was not the usual girl. They all wanted, and it was, and at that point of time, I think I was a little more, I feel I was a little more bigger than what I'm now. I'm a size 6 now, and that point of time I was a size 8. And it was fine. It worked wonderful because everybody else, all the other girls were also a size 8, most of them. And so it was a good, extremely good, very good crowd back then. And I remember Tapur, Tupur, Netra, Raghuraman. There were so many good girls at that point of time as well. So it's been an amazing journey. It was tough because I had come in from Dehradun, and I did not really know anybody in Delhi or Bombay. So administratively, I had to sort myself out a lot because that really makes a difference in a human being's life whenever you've come into the big city, as they say.
Yeah.
So that ways I had a lot of problems. But when it comes to work, I was fortunate enough to work with the best from the very beginning. So at that point of time, Miss India also had a lot of clout. Miss India was a good contest. Not that it is not a good contest now, but I feel it was a little more magnanimous. There were much more competition. The girls would do very well abroad as well. So I feel, from Miss India getting into Fashion Week was a great transition. It was a very good platform. And hence, I started working with the best companies, with the best choreographers, fabulous designers. So work-wise, it was good. And I learned on the job. Every work that I did, it was a learning process. I also remember for the first 2 years, I had a problem fitting into the industry. I feel a lot of people get into it because get into this zone with many industries that they get into, where even the profession has to kind of get comfortable with you, or you need to get comfortable with the people in that work zone. So for the first 2 years, I didn't know what hit me. I'm an army brat, and I had certain ways of looking at life. And those kind of get a little shaken up when you enter the glamour industry. However, and this is something that a lot of I've said this in a lot of interviews, that at that point of time, my then friend and present husband told me that, you're in this industry to do your job, and you're not here to make friends. So just do your job and have your own circle outside the industry. Don't try too hard to fit in. And that was a great eye-opener. It just hit the nail on the head, at least for me, that I was there to do my job. And when I started to concentrate on that and not concentrate on on other emotions like friendship, and if I'm if I'm getting popular, or am I being accepted, once you don't get into those things and you're only concentrating on your job, it's there is no way in the world you will not succeed. So that really helped out, and I did go on to make fabulous friendships in the industry, but it was all very, very good in the sense that I did not really have to try too hard.
Yeah.
So that's the journey.
All right. So that's very inspiring for the girls out there who are trying to enter in the modeling industry. Just like be who you are and don't try to fit into the social pressures of just forming bonds. And
very important. Yeah.
And like you said, like, you just from an army background, you straight away went to Miss India and all. So was that all like coming particularly to your ramp walk? So was that taught to you by some instructors, or it was in your DNA, like the way you are and you walk the ramp? So I mean, it is even for the inspiring models, do they follow their own as you said, there are some rules that to be followed, but what gives you that personal style to your walk and everything? So who taught you this? Is there
So,
anyone?
well, there are a lot of my friends who are saying hello to me. Hi, guys. I love you
Yeah.
too. And I have to tell you that, my walk has been the same. Honestly, I don't think it's changed much. I remember being complimented on my walk back then when I was training, when I was a simple trainee for Miss India. And I remember Hemant even told me to give a sample walk to the rest of the contestants, which was such a high, I was, because, I was a nobody and, from Dehradun. And I really feel that in today's world as well, I have been seeing girls with a very similar kind of walk. You know, I don't know where they learn it from, but everybody is I feel everybody walks like the other person. And that's where I feel that there needs to be a change there. And what has really worked for me is the fact that I have had my own style of walking. I have had my own style of projecting myself on ramp. And it is not only about the walk. It is about your personality, it's about your expression, it's about how you feel on stage and off stage as well. So, for people who think that it is just a model is just supposed to just wear clothes and start walking, I feel that is not it. It is not as simple as that. Because if it was as simple as that, you just had to be tall and slim and you would do a great job.
Yeah.
The, the job of a model is also, hi Sadia, so the job of a model is also, to project her personality on the clothes as well.
Yeah.
And to adapt to different kind of looks. For example, some would be a Pret designer, somebody would be couture, somebody would want drama, somebody would want it very straight and simple. So I feel it's the walk of a model is about projecting that feeling of the designer or the creativity of the designer on the ramp. And it is absolutely, I feel it's not right to have the same kind of walk for every show that you do. And what is going to set a model apart from the other is the fact that she has her own style. And that's what I need to emphasize when I've also started off my grooming thing.
Yeah.
So even I'm trying to get into, I just trained somebody. It was a one-on-one session. And that's exactly what I tried to train her, where I told her that, you need to have your own walk. And I showed her some walks of the models that some of the models are doing. And that's not what I want in the present models. I feel that they should project their personality through their walk, and every walk should be unique.
Yeah, so I think that's a very strong piece of advice for all those upcoming models. And also, we wanted to know about your project, Wider Bee. So, tell us about that. Like, I know you really feel for animals, and what is all this about? Like, how did you come up
So
with this?
Willoughby House is a purely is it's basically I've started off two verticals. One is the events vertical, and the other is the grooming vertical, where I am going to help the newcomers to understand the business of fashion and modeling,
Yeah,
because I feel a lot of girls or a lot of students, a lot of people, the freshers, are in a very vulnerable age. They are at the age of 17, 18, 19, wanting to get into the industry. And they do not really research as much and they do not get deeper into it to understand what are their chances in the industry now, and what talents do they possess internally to succeed in the fashion industry. Now, in the fashion industry, there are many things that one can do. You can be a fashion model, but that's just not it. You can get into theater, you can be a commercial model, you can be a print model, you can be short and yet do well. It's not only about the height. You can also get into, these days there's also, you can get into series, into the ad industry or the film industry. There's so many things one can do. But
yeah,
apart from that, you can also do a lot of you can also follow a lot of paths which will probably enhance your abilities. Now, a person could be good at blogging, a person could be good at shooting, a person could be good at into public relations. A person could be good at even fashion business. A person could be a good communicator. So there are so many things in the fashion industry that a person,
Yeah.
that a child or a girl or a guy who's about 17, 18 years of age
Yeah.
could get into. So I wanted to actually start off with something which where I can guide them well, and at the same time groom them to become good models as well. Because today, let me tell you, we are living in times where only being a model is not enough, honestly. You know, being only a model today, in today's time, look at the times that we're living in. We're living in COVID times where everything to do with fashion has gotten over, honestly. There
Yeah.
is no work for models, there is no work for makeup artists, there's no work for anybody at the moment in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
Hence, and this is not the last pandemic we are going to face. There are going to be other pandemics coming in, and one needs to make sure that we explore different options and yet keep this as a hobby. And even I did the same. I was exploring different options while I was working as a model.
Yeah.
Till the time I even applied for being an Air Force pilot, because that was one of my dreams to become a pilot. And I was going through 2, 3 different channels before I realized that this job of mine, which is being a model, can actually become a profession for me, because I got that kind of response from the
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
However, there is so much competition today that it is imperative that it's extremely important that one needs to work on 2 to 3 different paths,
Yeah.
yet keep it in the area of interest that you
Yeah.
have, be it fashion, but one needs to follow 2, 3 different paths to kind of figure out where you want to go. Because if modeling doesn't work, it's actually a very unpredictable profession with a
Yeah.
lot of competition. If it does not work, you have 1, 2, 3 options alongside for you
Yeah.
to feel good about yourself, to feel more confident about yourself,
Yeah.
and to follow. So
Yeah.
that's the kind of counseling and grooming I want to give through my company, which is Willoughby House.
That's such a nice venture. I think it's very, very important for young girls and boys to get mentored in such a good way and not get depressed if they have some, failures or hardships in the process of becoming successful. So I think that's such a great venture. I think there are a lot of comments for you, so I'll just read a few. So
Love you,
Arushi
Sony.
says, Arushi Verma says, can't wait to meet you, a stunner like you. And there were Sadhya says, so inspiring. Listen up, everyone. You are getting great insights. And Aditya says, one of the best walks in the industry. So thank you all for just tuning into our conversation. And Lakshmi, moving on, we also wanted to know, like, as you just said, like right now there are no makeup artists getting work and photographers. So what is the future of fashion industry be like in near future? So
Well, 2 things. I feel, next year, I think it's going to get better.
yeah,
Things are going to improve. We humans have an ability to adapt and to get back, and we Indians have it even more. I feel we will get back to regular work and
yeah,
maybe better work. You never know. But I also feel that things have changed for good,
yeah,
and things have changed to a level where we need to rethink our strategy when it comes to entering the industry. And that is why I just covered that question in in a few minutes back when I said that you just can't think of being only
yeah,
you just can't think of only being one entity, or following one path. It is important to have multiple talents. It's important to increase your talent base,
yeah,
and so that one can explore different opportunities and make sure that you succeed in at least one of them.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
the fashion industry, so the future of fashion industry today, in today's time, I know there are some shoots happening. But again, it is all happening with a lot of safety precautions. I just
Yeah.
went and did a shoot where people were dressed up in PP suits, and every model had a separate set of brushes with their names on it. So, one, if you're doing a shoot where these precautions are not there, it means that it is not a safe thing to do. So
Okay.
you need to choose where you're going, what kind of shoot you're taking up. Are they following precautions? So it's important to remember that. So yeah, so it's a whole different world right now. There are no shows happening at all, but there are virtual shows happening. There will be
Yeah.
virtual shows happening.
Yeah.
So it's exciting times. It's there. People are rethinking their ways of doing things. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it was really exciting when FDC announced the virtual shows that they are gonna do, and even I saw one of your shoots which you did at home yourself and for a magazine. So that was so interesting. So I think all these remote shoots and distant shoots are also, I think, a new thing to watch, and they are very, very. I think they bring a pleasant change to yourself, and you get amazed. This can also happen. So moving on, Lakshmi, we have been really, really intrigued by your fitness. Okay, everyone. So everyone around us, how have you maintained yourself over past these many years? I don't think, like you said, you have even reduced the size further, and
Yeah.
over these years, and after being a mother. So what is your fitness regime like? We really wanted to know.
Hi, Kumud. So, my thing has been, I've tried everything. It's been so many years. I've always been athletic. I've always been into sports. I've always been doing something or the other. It's a part of me. Fitness is a part of me. And I feel, till the time you don't start enjoying workouts and don't start enjoying the whole process of being fit, you will never
Yeah.
be fit, truly fit, honestly. So I feel people need to, we all need to try different things to understand which is that thing which actually works beautifully in our mind as well as on our body. So you need to
Okay.
enjoy your fitness. It could be dancing, it could be Pilates, it could be, you know, even weightlifting. I know a lot of people who enjoy weightlifting. It could be, pre-hand exercises.
Yeah.
However, for me, what has worked, I've been to the gym, I've done heavy weights, I've done various things, and I have a high metabolic rate. So I need to do weight training in the sense, some amount of weight training to kind of keep my muscle mass intact or to grow them. Now I
Okay.
have reduced the size because it was the need of the hour.
Yeah.
With so many designers going abroad, a lot of them were doing Paris fashion weeks, Milan fashion weeks. I remember when I went to Milan fashion. I've been to Milan fashion week 3 times. I've done Paris as well. I remember going there and seeing everybody was much smaller size. They were as tall as me, but they were a much smaller size. Now designers in India started making clothes smaller. You know,
Yeah.
so I had no option but to reduce my size by one to kind of fit into everything. So whenever I would go for a fitting, it is distressing when you don't fit into an outfit. It is honestly, and I'm sure a lot of girls have faced it. That
I
when
know.
you are, yeah, when you are either you not fit into it when it comes to the height or when it comes to the measurements. If you do
Yeah.
not, if the zip doesn't go very smoothly up your body, it is a problem.
It is
Then you
very
yes, it's not a pleasant feeling. So I did not want to get into all that. I made sure that I reduced the size. However, I'm a size 6 and I'm not a size 8 and I'm not a size 0, which a lot of people think that all models are size 0. No, it's not true. I'm a healthy size 6. And I remember that what has really helped me
Yeah.
is yoga, which is
Okay.
a very, very consistent way of staying fit. It has actually um, bloomed my body into something else. My flexibility has become better. The way I handle my own weight better. So
Okay.
if you ask a lot of girls, especially, doing 10 push-ups is not easy for a lot of people.
Yeah.
However, after I started doing yoga, I do Ashtanga. It's not the regular yoga. Ashtanga is a more strenuous form of yoga. It
Yeah.
has really helped me, and I'm still learning. Yoga is such a vast area. It's such a vast what do you call it, a platform to
Yeah.
to get fit. And it's such a huge amount of studies actually, and so much to practice and so much to learn, that after so many years, I think I've been practicing yoga for the past 7 years. I'm still learning. I've still joined a course. It's a 1 month course called Jog Shale, which is
Okay.
fantastic. It is on Instagram, and I feel everybody should go and check it out. It's a 1 month course where they teach you every morning. They do a live session of yoga. They also teach you breathing, which is so important for your inner peace, and especially during these times of COVID. And they
Yeah.
also teach you getting deeper into poses, so into
Okay.
asanas.
Okay.
So I feel yoga has really helped, and also I do a lot of weight training with my own body weight. I do not use weights.
Okay.
So that's also a very consistent and a very what do you call it? Even if I don't work out for 2 3 days or a week, I feel that my body still maintains itself, which did
Okay.
not happen when I would do weights, like proper weights in the gym.
Yeah.
So, funnily enough, during these times when COVID times and we couldn't go to the gym, and it was a problem for a lot of people, right? But for
Yeah.
me, it was okay because I was anyways doing weight training at home, like my own body weight exercises, running up and down the staircases, doing calisthenic exercises, doing stuff like jumping jacks, push-ups,
Yeah.
burpees, all of that, and doing my yoga. So I did not really miss a gym at all. So that's been my health, my fitness regime so far.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So less of equipment based and more of your own
Yeah.
body weight and simple cardios like jumping jacks and push-ups and yoga. So as you just said, like in yoga, you also get that inner peace. We already had a session before with Isha Shroff and Aoife Shroff, where she spoke about yoga, where as holistic to curing your inner peace and mental health. So especially in these post-COVID times when the glitz and glamour is all wiped out, how do you think it's so important to also focus on your mental health, and how do you do it? I mean, just like few breathing exercises or asanas or meditation. What is your mental well-being regime?
So I feel mental health is something that one needs to understand that it is a ongoing process, right? So to
Yeah.
keep your mental health intact, I have always emphasized that there needs to be balance. And without balance, nothing can be achieved. If you are concentrating too much on one aspect, you tend to lose out on the other aspects in life. I feel relationships are important. I feel, having a life outside your job is very, very important. To be engrossed in only one thing completely is maybe it may not work out for a lot of people,
Yeah.
and hence I believe in the fact that for me, what has worked is that I've had so much support from my family and my friends that even when I had a baby and I wanted to get back to work, and I did a fashion week 3.5 months after Navisha,
Yes.
my kid, was born, and it was a cesarean operation, and I still managed to get, and I was 18 kgs overweight, so I still
I
managed
know,
to
I
get
read
back
the whole
to.
thing and I was amazed. Like, how?
Yeah,
And you talk about just walking for first 2 months and after, and not doing anything more. And it was so interesting. In fact, we want to know, tell everyone about your postpartum weight loss.
I
Like, how?
will.
Yeah. So,
So
yeah.
yeah, so it basically, what I'm trying to say is that it was my family who was so supportive, because I would go out, I would keep traveling and coming back in, even when my baby was small. And honestly, my family made it sure, they made everything so comfortable for me that traveling out and working was not a problem.
Yeah.
I wasn't made to feel guilty. I wasn't made to feel worried. I was absolutely I was actually ecstatic to the fact that, I had a baby, I had my career, I had a supportive family. So I feel it's a amalgamation of everything. which makes mental health possible. And one needs to concentrate on these very aspects, which is, yes, your profession, but not by ignoring your family life or your inner being, you know. And I feel even spirituality, following something which kind of gets you peace inside, is also an extremely important path to take. And in today's world, you will see that most of the foreigners, people, the Westerners, and people anywhere outside India who are into fitness or who are into anything else are following yoga much better than we are in our own country. Because they have understood that what a gold mine it is. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, of course. Even
and
yoga, everyone. Yeah,
absolutely, and they might be coming up with their own different ways of yoga, which I find some of
yeah,
them are really strange. But they might come up with their own forms of yoga and call it something else. But the basics are all
yeah.
yoga, the Indian yoga art form. So hence it is important to kind of have different channels one needs to follow to have mental health generally.
So, Lakshmi, we are taking a question. Gaurav Ganpati is asking, who is Lakshmi's favorite designer? So, I had this question already for the last section, but yeah, we should. I think she's very eager. She seems very
So
eager.
I have been in this industry long enough to not have only one favorite designer, because it's not possible. I own clothes from quite a few of them, and I feel that so many of our Indian designers are absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
And there are some things that I would like to tell you about them as well. Uh, you know, um, I really am very fond of Anamika Khanna. I'm very fond of Gaurav Gupta, Tarun Tehliani, Manish Arora, Manish Malhotra. I'm very, very fond of JJ. There are so many designers that I'm fond of. Namrata Joshipura.
yeah.
You know, there are
Okay,
so many.
this
I'm
is
sorry. If
not
I don't name a few, yes, there are
probably. Yeah,
so many. Because
yeah,
I'll tell you why. I admire, the fact that I have clothes from all of them, quite a few of them, itself goes to prove that I really enjoy wearing their clothes. I just did something for Tarun Telyani, and I feel that he's also absolutely brilliant. I love the way he thinks. He is an amazing man. And every designer has their own way of portraying things, and quite a few of them are exceptional with their work.
yeah. So we probably have to segment the questions like in Indian category or some other, because you have named
Yeah.
quite a few. Okay, Rohit here is also asking. Sorry, Rishi. Rishi is asking, what is your least favorite thing about modeling?
The least favorite thing about modeling is, there's a lot of time wastage, honestly. You go for fittings and,
Yeah,
it is a long process, but, you know, uh, I've done fittings with some people where, they know exactly your size and they will call you at a particular hour. They will fit you in 1 hour and they'll let you go. And
yeah,
then there are fittings because of the fact that, it's been going on for so many years. There are fittings where the designer wants to see the entire collection, and then, then the next thing, the models wear one outfit, then all of us stand together, and then we get into the next outfit, and then again we
yeah.
stand together. It's a very, very boring, tedious process. In fact, whenever I go for fittings, I question my choice of career every single time. That's how much I hate fittings. So yeah, that's the worst part of the job, honestly.
And he's also asking, who are your favorite models? I think he has a lot of questions. Okay, okay, no, someone else now. So Rishi is asking again, is any of your favorite model? If you know, want to name any favorite model of yours who you find inspiring or you like him or
So
her.
many, so
Okay,
many, so many, so many. The
okay,
girls are There's so many fabulous girls. My colleagues are amazing. Sapna, Kumar, Soni Kaur, Candice, Deepti, Sonalika. I have, there's so many, Archana, Ricky. There are so many girls, and we are the same lot who do most of the shows together all over the country, or we used to do most of the shows together all over the country.
Yeah, I
So,
keep up.
everybody has their own uniqueness to them, and it's quite brilliant.
And Wasim is asking, what is your favorite makeup base for yourself?
Okay, so I'm using this NYC concealer, which is fantastic. And honestly, I'm not that great with makeup, but I know of my friends who are amazing with their base, and they keep advising me also. I can't be good at everything. So, yeah, so NYC, the concealer, I thought was very nice.
Okay, so this makeup question also brings us back to the topic where I was. So you told us about your fitness and mental health. Now coming to your flawless and glowing skin and lustrous hair. So everybody wants to know about that. We have got DMs also over them. Like, how do you rely on specific makeup products, or what is the secret behind them?
Again, I shall again recommend yoga to you. It
Okay.
really works. Because there are lots of things that you do during that process which kind of cleanses your system. It cleanses your stomach. There are things like where you flush your stomach out. So there are various processes that you do in yoga as well, which kind of help you clean your skin and cleanse your skin as well. Apart
Yeah.
from that, I feel diet, what you eat, really makes a difference.
Yeah.
So I have been a very good eater. Like, I have a good appetite, unlike a lot of people think about models. In fact, I'm quite famous in the industry for the kind of appetite I have. But I do make a conscious choice of eating healthy and not eating too much of flour or sweets or processed sugar or processed food for that matter. Most of my diet is all with fresh ingredients. I have started avoiding now milk. I'm started taking almond milk. I do my entire morning routine. I have a little juice that I take which has amla and mint and kale leaves and various other things to start my day. So I have a routine which I follow when it comes to my diet as well, and I have my cheat days, of course. But mostly 90% of my diet is healthy, and that is what it is the baseline of having good hair and good skin. No amount of products you use will make you achieve that.
Yeah.
And however, I do feel that a lot of us go through hormonal issues and we go through PCOD issues. And for that, one needs to home down to a good dermatologist. And if you feel that you are not getting the right kind of food that you're supposed to eat, you home down to a good dietitian as well and understand your body. So this is what something that I've also put down in my YouTube video, that the
Yeah.
first step of getting healthy and the first step of understanding what you need for your own body to make yourself better is to understand your own body first. And for
Yeah.
that, if you need help, which is if you need a dietitian, you need a dermatologist, or you need somebody to help you with that, you might as well take that help and figure it out.
Yeah, it stuck to me when I saw it during my research, and I was thinking, like, yeah, you can't just follow haywire things because somebody told
Yeah.
me to not eat after midnight, or there are few things that I started doing and they were not suiting me. I was getting bloated even furthermore. So I just thought to myself after watching your video that I have to also understand my body type. Probably this is not suiting me, what everyone else is following to just reduce weight and to look
Yes.
better. So this is a very, I think, very good advice, at least for me, because I really clicked with it. Yeah, I have to stop and understand what my body type is and
Yes,
what's.
until the time you don't try different things,
Yeah,
till the time you do is, when you go shopping, you try different outfits to see what kind of silhouette looks good on you, right? So in the
yeah,
same way, it is important to try different things on your body to understand what it is accepting and what it is rejecting.
yeah,
And
exactly.
hence, it is, so it has to be a balance. You don't need to take the help of a dietitian for all your life. It is just for maybe a month or two, where
Yeah,
the person tells you. And I know that every body is different. I know every metabolic rate is different. For everybody. So it's important to understand your body, and for that, one I recommend that people should take help for it.
Yeah, professional help. Go seek
Yes,
professional.
absolutely.
So Yamini here is asking, do you think modeling is even is same in India today, or is it a practical career choice today? So she's
Well, of
asking.
course, it's a practical career choice. Right now, it's not only the fashion industry that's been affected, there are many industries that have been affected. And with the
Yeah,
amount of brands, with the amount of businesses opening up, it's not that modeling has died. It's not died. It is going to come back. It is going to come back with a bang. There is a lot of print shoot. Even though shows are not happening, shoots have started happening. So
yeah,
I know of a few of my friends who are working. I have started working. So it is a viable career choice. But the point is that modeling is an inconsistent career choice till the time you get substantial work or
yeah,
substantial feedback that you are going to make it. And hence, it is important that you concentrate on different, 2 to 3 different verticals, amongst which modeling is one of them, and see where it takes you. So it is a viable career choice even today. There is no doubt about that.
yeah. So I think Yamini, you have got your answer. And Sunny also is asking, what do you think about Prabhuda Das Gupta's work, especially in capturing models? Have you ever been shot by him?
No, I've never been shot by Prabhu, though he's an he was an amazing photographer. Um, his work is legendary. So you all know that.
Yeah. Okay. So
And I'm not Lakshmi Menon, I'm Lakshmi Rana. There's a difference.
yeah. So also Lakshmi, so the next question we had was the postpartum weight loss. So mothers who like, we just wanted to know what is the how do we take our postpartum journey, like for especially for the first 6 months. So we wanted to know
So,
what.
sure. So what
Yeah,
I feel is, I honestly feel that it's important for the first 6 months to a year to concentrate on yourself. Every mother needs to understand that the baby doesn't need much. The baby just needs the baby needs to be fed, needs to be
yeah,
safe, and just needs to you need to make sure that the baby gets into some kind of a routine,
yeah,
so that you get some peace. Right. So I know I've advised a few of my friends who had babies where, the kid would, be awake the kid would wake up at 3 in the morning asking for a feed or whatever. So I know there are ways to deal with it. There are, tricks to kind of follow. And I have been also advised by my friends how to deal with it. So it is important to, make sure that you concentrate on yourself post
yeah,
your pregnancy.
yeah,
Also, your family needs to understand that it's a huge toll that you've taken on your body. Uh, you know, a lot of people say, oh, during yesteryears, our grandmother used to have 10 kids. But hello, every experience is different. It is really important that your experience, like for example, if I've had only one kid, and I know that it was not easy. It was a really tough process. So it's important to realize this, that it is
yeah,
not an easy job. It is a difficult job, and your body has taken a lot to, and it has gone through a lot of changes. So as
yeah,
soon as one has a kid, one needs to understand they need to concentrate on themselves. So what I
yeah,
did, my family, kudos to my family, they really helped me out here. My husband was unbelievable. He would
okay,
go out with me walking at the speed of at a very slow speed. I would tell him to we would keep our hands up in the air and walk, because I was not allowed to run at that point of time. And he would do the same way. I didn't want to look like a fool with my hands up in the air and walking, right? So he would do the same with me. So just little things like that.
understood,
So
yeah,
yeah, so it's important to, I really concentrated on getting back to shape, because
yeah,
once I did, my process of enjoying the baby was tenfold. The happiness was tenfold. I started enjoying it much more. And you don't need to lose weight for that. You just need to make sure that you look good. It doesn't
Yeah.
need to be, you don't need to reduce into size 6 again. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, you need to take care of yourself. You do your workouts, you make sure that you're well groomed, you make sure that you wear good clothes, you make sure that you read good books, you go and socialize, go and meet people. It's important to get into those aspects so that, you feel good about yourself. I'm not saying ignore the baby. Of course, there are things that you need to do which are extremely important, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it should not be a punishment, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Post the baby is born, your job is done. Now you just need to make sure that the baby gets what she needs or what he needs, and the work on yourself starts at that point of time. So that
Yeah.
is my biggest advice to people at the moment who have kids.
I think that's a very nice advice because everything else we can Google, but this that focus on yourself. Because once you're
Yes,
sorted within yourself, once you feel good about yourself, then
yes.
obviously you will enjoy the whole baby and everything about the baby.
Everything
So
comes together at that point of time. And
yeah,
I will not advise people to get back into shape in 3.5 months, because to get into shape in 3.5 months, you really need to know what works on you.
yeah,
Or you need to have a friend like Sucheta Sharma James, who's a fitness trainer and a model. And she's the one who kind of, advised me. So
yeah,
I did manage to do it. However, I feel a woman should give her body about a year, at least 8 months to a year, to
yeah,
get back to what she was. But you need to give a time frame to it, because if you don't give a time frame to it, you tend to lose it.
yeah,
You tend to lose the concentration, you tend to lose the focus. So you need to give it
yeah,
a time frame. Within this amount of time, I am going to do it.
yeah, yeah. I think that's very important, and that discipline is very set the goal for
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah. And Rishi again is asking, how do you continue to eat healthy when things get stressful? When at the end of when you are tired at the end of shooting and shows, so
Well,
then you
as I
eat ice cream. I think then you will eat an ice cream.
see, I don't have a sweet tooth, so I'm not into sweets. So again, ice cream and everything. Again, it's a personal choice. If ice cream gives you happiness, just go ahead and have it. But I remember when I would finish my show, and I would, sometimes I would meet my friends for a drink or something, and I would be starving. And I would reach there, and I would and I would only see those little snacks, on the table. My friend Meghna knows. And there's little snacks on the table. And I would look at the snacks and say, guys, this is not going to do it. I want carbs, like right now. So I would order this, huge bowl of, maybe a spaghetti aglio olio, or or a nice plate of maybe biryani or something. I don't know. Whatever I feel like at that point of time, and just have a good time. And I would, make sure that by the end of my day, I'm happy you know.
Yeah.
But let me tell you that the fitness is not about those one or two odd times that you do this.
Yeah.
Fitness is about those 90% of the times when you can be healthy and you have the choice to be healthy. And you have the
Yeah.
choice to choose your food. There are times
Yeah.
when you can't
Very
choose
well.
your food, but 90% of the times you can. And at
Yeah.
that point of time, so I used to take my little tiffins. Like if I'm preparing for Fashion Week, I would make sure that I take my sprouts with me. I take a couple of other things with me, which is ghar ka khana, and I do not eat rubbish outside.
Yeah.
And while I'm here during the COVID times, I finish my dinner by about 7 o'clock, and I don't eat anything after that. So so it's about that 90% of the time when you can choose what you want to eat, and those 10% doesn't matter, because that the kind of exercises that you do will take care of the 10%. And
Yeah.
it is actually true what they say about fitness. It's 80% diet and 20% workouts
Yeah.
that works. So
Yeah.
you need to take care of your diet. There is no excuse for it.
Yeah. So yeah, so unless I mean that's very, very important message. I think, we focus on our cheat days or cheat moments. Rather, we should focus on the normal rest
Yeah.
of the day, rest of the moments that we can control ourselves and just take healthy diet. So, Lakshmi, this also brings us to our last segment, which is a rapid fire. So it's not
Okay.
as rapid. You can take your time, but
Okay.
again, we wanted to put some interesting questions. And first is, which celebrity, according to you, has a natural ramp walk flair? I mean, you
So
have
Dinah, I think Dinah Penty has it because she used to be a model. I think Dinah walks beautifully on ramp.
okay. And what do you think? What do you like most about the fashion industry?
That I got to travel the world. It was an amazing experience. You've been to every place that you can imagine, and it's been a brilliant journey.
And one thing you want to change about the fashion industry?
Uh, Quite a few things, honestly, but I will tell you just one thing. I
Yeah.
feel and I've said this before in an interview as well, I feel the pay packages should improve. You cannot have and it should improve according to inflation. So this is the only industry where where a select few girls get paid really well, and quite a few of them needs, I feel should get better pay package, especially the boys, and so that it's a viable industry for people to get into.
Okay. Amber here is asking, love your neck piece. Where do you shop your accessories from?
So many places. This is from Jaipur. I went to a friend's place and she took me to this amazing Jaipur shops. The hidden jewelry
Yeah,
shops in
totally.
Jaipur are just amazing. So one needs to explore that. And I'm very fond of silver. So this is just one of the pieces. I have 20 more. So I'm very fond of silver.
That's nice. And what is your personal style? Like your favorite personal
So
style?
So I have my own personal style in the sense that I like to keep it elegant and sexy at the same time.
Okay.
So I have a distinct style when it comes to in the evenings. I do not overdo things. Maybe a nice jacket, and I've also stopped shopping too much. I've started now for this in the past 2 years. I have hardly shopped, honestly, because I feel that we have started consuming so much
Yeah.
as a human beings, that it is important for all of us to realize this and completely control the way we spend on things. Our consumerism needs to be curtailed by 90%. So I have not shopped much for the last 2 years, and let me tell you, I still manage to pull out things from the wardrobe and I still manage to create a new look. That's how amazing it is. So it is all about reusing and restyling your clothes that you already have. And I've started investing in very, very good, sustainable, and classic pieces which I can reuse and I can restyle it in various ways, be it with Indian wear or be it with Western wear. So now what I started doing is it's actually an investment. Sorry, it's actually an investment where I do not go and shop for 20 things from Zara or H&M or Forever
Yeah.
21. I shop for one piece, which is a classic, which looks fantastic. People compliment me on it, and I can wear it in various different ways. So
Uh,
I recommend that we all should do that.
Totally. I think that's it's not only the fashion creators who should be going for sustainable development, and it's the consumer's responsibility also that, we
It's
buy.
80% the consumers, let me tell you.
Yeah.
80% of the consumers, because we are the ones who are consuming everything that is being made. And
Yes.
honestly speaking, most of it is going into landfills.
Yeah.
There are thousands of kilos of unused clothes which are going
Yeah.
into landfills, and we are destroying the universe because of that. So
Yeah.
we need to read about it. We need to be more aware of it. We are the generation who needs to make a change, and we are the ones who are teaching our new generation. Even for
Yes.
my daughter, I buy on a need basis. She has two pairs of shoes. And I buy, she has about 4 to 5 pairs of leggings, which I style differently. It could be a long dress or a long top or something short. So have started doing it not only for myself, I started doing it for my child as well. I have
That
completely stopped my shopping habits.
Wow, that's such a strong takeaway. I think it has hit me so hard, because I think this is so important. We keep talking about saving the universe, about these, and we keep teaching our children, like, global warming, not damaging the environment, protect the environment. Just in June month, only Environment Day went, and we don't but do these practical things, we keep, I think it's so, so
And
important
no
that,
matter how much the school tries to teach you,
yeah,
it is, it all stems from home. So if they don't see your parents do it, they will not learn it.
yeah. I think
So,
fabulous, fabulous. I just zoned into this. Like, how would I talk to my kids about it? And I need to make
yeah,
these changes. In fact,
I'm so
everyone is saying,
glad.
Lakshmi, you're fabulous, and such an amazing thought. And I always knew that you are inclined towards, saving the environment. And but this is such a nice. And I even read your post about for the elephant, where you talked about that what unfortunately happened. And I was moved by it. How you are so, I mean, tell us more about this aspect of yours, like the way you just told us about your sustainable shopping. What all other things are you into? Other things also to save the
But
environment?
it's just I feel we all have become so consumed with our own lives and our own
uh,
and what we want that we've actually forgotten as to owe responsibility towards others as well. Especially animals who can't speak for themselves and who can't really defend themselves. We humans have actually taken over the earth and we've
yeah,
taken over their space as well. So it's important for all of us, at least the educated lot. I feel the uneducated lot are more aware of
yeah,
what we are supposed to do. We educated people have become so into ourselves and into our
yeah,
own worlds that we've stopped understanding what is important, what is truly important. And
yeah,
uh, even if it's a little thing, I don't do too much, but I am trying to inculcate a few good habits in me, and I'm trying to teach my child that. And we
yeah,
all need to do that. As long as we do it for ourselves, that's
yeah.
enough, honestly.
Yeah, we should play our roles. So we
Yeah.
are running short of time, and I was left in the middle of the rapid fire. So the next question is, most difficult outfit you wore on ramp that you have a memory of.
So very recently, I have that video on my Instagram, by the way. I wore a Manish Malhotra. I started that show. It was for Blenders Pride, and I started that show for Manish Malhotra. And you know, it was such a heavy outfit. I cannot begin to tell you. It was very long, so they couldn't chop it off because it was for a princess in Saudi Arabia or something. If I'm not mistaken. But it was this heavily embroidered outfit, and they had to pick it up and they had to actually stitch it up so that it was shorter. It was a little. The trail was so long that they had to bring it a little closer. However, the entire weight of the trail was more than 40 kgs, and I had to step down those staircases and maneuver my way along a huge ramp and come back. It was very difficult. That was definitely one of my toughest outfits, and not show it on my face. You can't show the pain that you're going through
Oh
on
my
your
God,
face. So it was quite difficult, but I put it down on Instagram if anybody wants to check that out. It was an amazing
definitely.
outfit,
Going
very
to be checking
beautiful.
out
Yes, it
just
was a
after.
beautiful outfit, but yeah, very heavy.
Okay, so you guys can check out after the session. And if not a model, what would you be?
I would have been a pilot for sure.
Oh, okay. And most memorable fashion show that you remember, that you have fond memories of?
I don't know. There was a very funny fashion show that we've done, when we were starting off, and it was outdoors. It was the DLF golf course. It was an
Okay.
outdoor show. It was during winter, and a lot of dew was there, which probably a lot of people did not realize. And every model that walked on that stage fell.
Lakshmi, I'm sorry, I need to interrupt. Unless we won't be able to save the session, we have to right away end the session because it's just last
Okay,
20 seconds.
But
So
thank you for having me.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you. I had a
being
great
with us,
time.
and thank you so much. All
Take
right,
care.
bye. Thank you, viewers, for
Bye.
joining us.